Hey guys, I'm here with Mandi from Wise Home Lending. She stopped by my office this morning and we were just talking about interest rates versus prices of houses and talking about what do we think is going to happen. Obviously, nobody knows what's going to happen, but we have some good ideas of what will happen.
Right. And we were curious, so we start plugging away numbers, right? Because that's how we figure out the answer to the question.
So the question was, is it better to buy now while the prices are lower or wait until the interest rates go down, thinking that the prices, just thinking that the savings and interest rate will be worth it to hold out for? Right. So I wrote a newsletter on January 11th and looked at the single family home average price in the 5 counties on the Wasatch Front.
Right.
And our average on January 11th single family home price was $579,000. Okay. And so if I look at, do I buy that house today at what's our rate today?
So rate today, 5% down, assuming great credit, you're roughly 6%.
Okay.
So that's what we're using for our baseline today.
Okay. So we buy that today at 6% versus now if I wait a year, thinking maybe the interest rates will be down in a year and that's a better time for me to buy a house, I'm going to get a better payment.
Right.
However, we're looking at price appreciation on the Wasatch Front. Even if we took a conservative number like 4%, say we appreciate 4%, that 579 goes up to 602,000.
Yeah.
So now my price is 602.
Right.
And what is my interest rate?
And we're going to just estimate that the rates go down by half a point. You know, there's a lot of unknown this year about what's going to happen. We do believe rates will trend downward, but we don't expect it to be substantial. We don't think we're seeing 3% rates anytime soon.
We're not going down to the 2s or 3s.
So we're going to estimate that roughly this year we get a half a point improvement in rate from where we are right now, because right now the market's already taking into consideration this expectation that rates will go down.
Okay.
So we've already gotten an initial improvement there.
Okay.
So let's say we get another 0.5%.
So a year from now, our interest rate goes down 0.5%, but our prices have gone up 4%, meaning we're at a 602 price. And what is our payment? What's the difference in payment?
So the difference in payment between those two scenarios is $43. So yes, you're going to save $43
on
a
your
month
monthly payment
by waiting if the rate goes down to 5.5. But that's fascinating because that's not very much, and I have to wonder, what if instead in a year you refinance, you buy at the current price,
right,
and you then refinance somewhere down the road? Certainly, it's going to save you more than the $43.
Exactly. Because you'll get the lower price, the appreciation will work in your favor, and then you'll have the
likely help you drop things like mortgage insurance, right? Those are the things that start to work in your favor. So right now, if I'm considering a 5% down payment, we're in great credit, you're still talking about $200 a month in mortgage insurance.
So the sooner you can drop that off, the better.
So the appreciation is going to be working in your favor there.
Okay. And then this gets compounded if we take it out further and further. The more years we go, the more appreciation stacks up. And this is conservative 4% appreciation, which we haven't seen 4% appreciation except for the last couple of years when the market has slowed.
But not typical.
Yeah, typically we're more into a double-digit appreciation number on the Wasatch Front for the last 10 years.
Right.
Okay.
But say year 3, we figured out that would be $651,000 would become the new baseline. Again, you're only saving $46 a month to have waited. If I assume that the rate comes down a full 1% on that. So we get 0.5% this year, 0.5% the next, right? We don't think it's going to keep going much below that 5% mark, very honestly.
Yeah.
So it's still not substantial savings, even though the rate's lower, and there's nothing to stop you from taking advantage of the lower rate down the road.
So you could buy now at the current price, refinance at the lower rate in the future, and have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So, and the other piece we have not talked about is we have a lot of people that tell us I'm saving for a down payment.
Right.
I'm saving for a down payment. So, for example, average home price $579,000. If I appreciate 4% in 1 year, my price goes up to $603,000. That's almost $24,000 that we're having to save, and it's just shy of $2,000 a month that I have to save.
$1,930 a month that you'd have to be putting in savings to keep up with the market.
Just to keep up with the appreciation, so that I have that. So I have the down payment I'm trying to save. So if I'm not saving $2,000 a month towards my down payment, I'm losing ground.
Right, absolutely. And I think for most people, it's pretty hard to save on that level.
Yeah,
you would have to have a lot of disposable income
in order to save that. So, but there are programs available that you can do down payment assistance so that you don't have to have that savings in your pocket.
Absolutely. Or if you have managed to, I think a lot of people get caught up in this idea of we've got to save 20% down.
Yeah.
right? I get asked that question a lot, and I think it's because older generations are telling their children you have to have 20%. That used to be a thing. It is not.
Yeah.
So I'm running into a lot of clients who are in this idea of I've got to save for this down payment, and they have enough to do a 3% down payment or a 5% down payment, and they're holding because they're trying to save to 20.
Right.
You don't need that much down to
Right.
get very aggressive.
You just can't
financing.
outsave the appreciation.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's just
you'd
no
have
way.
to outsave the appreciation in order to make it
Yeah.
that you're holding ground on the payment.
Yeah, very few of my clients are in a position to put $2,000 in savings every month.
Right. As opposed to buy the house now and have that appreciation working in your favor.
Right.
It's like the house is putting it into your account for you.
Right. It's the reason we keep saying there is no better way to accrue generational wealth than property. There just isn't.
And just let it build over time.
Because you don't really have to work at that. You just have to pay your
Make your house
housing,
payment,
which you
you're
were
doing
already making housing payments. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
It's interesting though, right? Because you think that the rate matters a lot, and it does, but not as much as
Well,
I would have thought.
and there are so many variables and factors that go
Right.
into it. So you want to sit down with someone and do a strategy session and understand all the different implications of
Yeah.
the pieces that are involved in the process.
Yeah.
So
But good to know.
thanks, guys. Thanks, Mandy.
Of course.